Right on. Welcome to episode 148. How to plan for a new year. We're almost at the end of this year here, almost at the end of the season. I see all these posts about it. I also get lots of questions about how I kind of manage the stuff that I do between the podcast and life. I feel like this is an appropriate episode to hop on and do. So welcome to the episode today. Ultimately, new year, new goals. This happens every year. Everyone sees all this stuff pop up online. It's like, hey, gonna hit all these goals, all this inspo, and then there's like a super strong likelihood that a majority resolution, so to say, fail by February. I'll talk a little bit through that, how to set flexible goals without losing focus, because sometimes, life happens. Although you do, maybe if you have built in like proper processes or structure around that, it's not just all hype. There is actually some structure around that you are going to hit those goals, but life can come at you in weird ways. I'll give a couple examples of that. And tools and tech to stay organized is some helpful hints, and the power of reflection and the small wins. So living in those wins as well, not getting so focused on just the big goals there. So and it's this is something that's near and dear to me. Every year I usually do kind of spend some time. I've kind of been lacking. I think it might end up rolling into a little bit into January, but I far exceeded a lot of the goals in many categories last year for me. So I'll be probably writing down some big goals as well for myself for 26. That's why this episode came to mind here. But some things for myself from last year, just to throw this in the mix, but I was already training a bunch. I've been doing triathlons for about 7 or 8 years now. One of my big goals there was to do an Ironman, a half Ironman, 70.3 race out in, I ended up doing that one out in Calgary, Alberta. Went awesome. Kind of exceeded a goal that I had out there for time and stuff, which is super cool to do. But on top of doing that, and along with that, training became accomplished 5 half marathons. I did 4 triathlons total, one of which was the half Iron, or maybe it was 5, pardon me, and then that one. Anyways, about 5 of each basically throughout the season. And number one thing was signing up ahead of time. So making sure that those were on the calendar and booked up ahead was a big thing for me. And and then just like reversing that plan backwards. What do I need to accomplish in my training to be able to feel comfortable going out and doing those races? And those other halves marathons were mostly training for that race. In a sense. So that was kind of fun and cool to do that and explore that. So just a little share from my end here, but what you want to learn from this episode here, why most resolutions fail by February. Let's talk about it. If you set a big goal, you have this big energy, you see other people like getting into their goals setting this time of year, why do most of them fade out by February? So because they're all built on motivation, not systems. That's the biggest thing. I talk about consistency a lot on this podcast. In my posts, I'm just going to scooch closer here to read this. But kind of like the psychology behind that resolution. Yeah, we all have these things that are, things that we've missed out on in the last year that we wish we would have. Woulda, shoulda, coulda, whether it be learning a new language, losing 5-10 pounds, often a thing this time of year. You come out of the holidays, you enjoyed yourself, and then you get into it, and it only lasts about a month. The gyms will be crazy. Anyone who's a gym goer, that January is pretty nuts with everyone having resolutions, which is fantastic. But the likelihood of it hitting the long haul is slim. I forget what the fail rate is. It's quite high though. But the thing is, you got to be with this for the long period of time. It's not just about that instant win and gratification. You might hit the gym and you might have success in that first month there, and then you kind of fall off. You go on that winter vacation, a work trip, you get out of routine, and it's pretty easy to get bumped off that. So be able to find a way to keep that routine so solid and in the long play. And I know this calendar is for 21 here, but in the future of 26, to keep that, I would encourage folks to look at that and doing that. It's really a huge thing in terms of being able to maintain this for the long haul here, that marathon mindset that I talk about a lot of time. So, and how to set flexible goals without losing focus, because as I just mentioned, it's easy to fall off. And, if we have rigid goals, life does happen. We got to be able to bend them, flow with them a little bit. Even this last year, we had a few personal things come up in family, kind of certainly affected some of my thoughts around certain races, how much time I was going to have to commit to them. But I just kept making it a priority every day. And that might seem easier said than done for some routines. I have a pretty flexible schedule for the most part here. So, but being able to take it easy on yourself and make sure that you do have those wins. Whether if I'm comparing it to like a fitness goal and all of a sudden you go out with some friends and, consume too many calories, whether it be food or drink, and don't be too hard on yourself. Make sure that you're allowing yourself to still live life outside of those goals. If it does happen to be fitness in that sense. So, tools and tech to help you stay organized. I mean, I'm a big advocate of any kind of like calendar, whether it be physical this way, or on your phone digitally. Setting that time in the calendar ahead of time is huge. If you already have it blocked off, other stuff can't be, booked in there within reason, of course, if life happens. But there's other different kinds of like tracking apps, again, if whether it be like a fitness thing, or if you're trying to learn a new language using Duolingo, it keeps track of all your stats for you. If it's like a dietary thing, then you can use different like food apps to track food for you. That's actually something new that I'm starting in January, or started in December, I guess, and moving into January here as a dietitian, just help dial in more energy stuff. I found different races I would kind of bonk or hit a wall at different stages. So I think it's an area I need to invest a little bit more in. So hiring help, I guess, ultimately in terms of like tools and tech to stay organized is my point there, is because you can hire out experts to help you in these different areas if you have that capacity in the schedule and in the finances. So, and then, yeah, the power of reflection and small wins. I mean, looking at the calendar last year, I knew I had a pretty stacked one. Almost every weekend was a race, with that being, 10 races ultimately. Some of them were spread out a little bit more earlier on in season, and then went until October. So there's kind of almost like a couple months off of, doing that final race, I guess, kind of thing for the year. But it still was planned months ahead in all those cases. So, but took time to reflect on the small wins. I mean, every race, as I've talked about on the other marathon side of things, it was basically finish and don't shit yourself ultimately. But then there's always that improvement for like PR as you're getting into the race running thing. And if you've seen those other episodes, you know what I'm talking about. So, make sure you're tracking those goals along the way too. If you're just only doing it for like a month, it's usually not enough time. We say this in like, business changes as well. I mean, there's some things that you can make changes in instantly and see dramatic wins from that, but often things do take, like that 90-day window. There's a reason why they have a probation period in most companies is 90 days. Gives both folks enough time to like kind of interview each other without major commitment, as well as it just takes that much time on average, relatively speaking, to get in there. They see the same thing with different like trial periods, right? With different apps or different things that you want to, explore that way. So, that's kind of the highlight news there. I'd say definitely go buy a calendar if that's going to be the thing that, or day planner, and definitely write down the goals. Ultimately, I think that is one of the biggest short sights where folks maybe even don't get that started. Is writing them down is kind of one of the big things. I know it's been a huge help for me over the last 3 years. I have a note we've seen in my workout post. It's the life mantra is, what would 80-year-old you think? And that comes from a place of trying to live with no regrets. So I got this list of stuff I'm still working through there, and ultimately then I have yearly goals that are kind of working backwards on a lot of the ones that are in the what would 80-year-old you think category. So a lot of that is working it back that way, whether it be on a year or a longer plan of like a lifelong journey. If you have the foresight looking that far ahead, wonderful. But don't get discouraged. If things don't go perfect, but you can start anytime. You could have started in November for your 26 goals, or you could start in February or March. You can still accomplish a lot. But ultimately writing them down and having them written down on a calendar, if there are like kind of due dates for different things, can be a huge help. So that would be my 2 cents, my take on it. I wonder if there's anything else that I wrote down here from this episode that we wanted to cover. I don't know, just practically stick to the big picture stuff. Make sure if something is important to you that you are actually focusing on it. You're not kidding yourself and you say that you're going to, let's just pick on the workout routine here or whatever, because it's like easy to fall off that one. Don't kid yourself if you're not putting in that 30 minutes to an hour plus every day in the gym, doing something fitness focused. You can't be too hard on yourself if you're being realistic about that goal, because you're not giving it a good enough try, in my opinion. So make sure that you're at least doing the minimum there, and consistency wins all the time. So, follow those patterns. Do you're doing that way. If it's a work goal or financial gain goal, make sure you're doing the exact same thing. You can't, you can be hard on yourself in the sense of if you don't hit the goal, but you can't be like mad at yourself if you didn't even give it an honest go. in a way. So make sure that you're committing the time to the areas that are most important to you on your New Year's, new you goal stuff that we all seem to kind of do lightly in some degree. So that is it on episode 148. 2 cents on calendars, scheduling, following it, and yeah, why most resolutions fail. So make sure you stick around for the big picture and celebrate small wins. Cheers.